So we are going to be making a super cute, sequin cosmetic bag using some fun Artesprix products and our regular crafting supplies. So let me get this out of the way and we're going to go ahead and get started. The way this is going to work is we're going to be sublimating on the white surface of our sequin bag, which means any of these little guys here that are turned around backwards, first thing we need to do is we need to turn them facing the correct direction. And these are all going that way. Okay. So any of them that are facing the opposite way will need to be flipped over because the white side is the part that is sublimatable. Next, we're going to, like always, draw around the edges of our bag. And the reason for that is so that we know where to have our design. Now, I'm doing this on some regular weight cardstock, and I'll show you why I'm using cardstock instead of just plain paper in just a second. Next, I want to show you the cute design that I'm planning on using today. I'm getting this actually off of Design Bundles, and it is one of their freebies. And all you need to do is go in here, go to Free Designs, pull up Free SVGs, and put in a search for Mermaid. This is the one I want to use, but there are lots of other things that you could do. And I kind of like this unicorn one over here as well. Anyway, for the design I'm doing today, I'm going to be using this one. And let's pull that up. Okay, great. And then you can just download the free design. I will be providing you guys with a code down in the description so that you can get this one as well. And the reason that I'm showing you this at this point is I'm going to actually print it out so that I know exactly where I want to put all of my color on my design. Okay, so we're going to be taking a look at that next. So I've already downloaded the file and unzipped it. If you need more information about how to unzip a file, let me know and I'll be sure to share that in another video. The one I want to use is this one that says Mermaid Squad because I think it's so cute. But there are a lot of things in here, so you could actually use this file for other things like, since there's all these numbers, birthday gifts or cards. I think that would be super cute. Anyway, this is the one that I'm going to use. So I'm just using the inks. Now you could use the paints. That would go really quick as well. I didn't really want to wait for it to dry, which is the reason I'm going with the inks. And I'm starting off with the pink. I know this looks burgundy. It is not going to be the same color when it prints out. It is going to turn out much more vibrant. And I'm putting that in the center across basically the center of where I want my design. And I am going to keep on bringing back out my reference. This is what this is. This is basically just my reference photo. So I'm going to keep on doing that to see where I want all my colors. I'm also using my Picket Fence paper pouncers that I have specifically for Artesprix. You can get these for all of your different inks, but if you are going to be using Artesprix inks, make sure you have some that are dedicated just for them. Just for these inks, because you don't want to cross-contaminate. They do not function the same way on cardstock as they're going to on sublimation. So you wouldn't want to use this pink, on, say, a card. When it gets hot, it'll transfer to something else, and it won't really look like the card you were expecting. And you also don't want to use the other inks on something sublimatable, because it's not going to stay permanently like these inks will. They are not interchangeable. Okay, so next I also have some green. I think I'm going to put the green down next and have that at the edge. And then I can come back in with my blue and purple, and they will be they'll blend together pretty well. And this is something that it doesn't have to be exact. And it looks like I need to refill my ink pad, which there are refills for these too. So that is something else that Ashley has done for us that is absolutely fabulous. Okay, so I was going to do the bottom as well, wasn't I? It's going to be kind of a mirror image on both ends. Okay, so we've got some pink down, we've got some green. Next, I'm going to come in with some blue down on the green end. And having it overlapping our green. These are translucent colors, so they are going to blend together pretty nicely. And since this is all going to be cut out, I'm not really that concerned about how well they actually blend together at this point. But you can see we are getting a bit of a blend in between there. Again, these are darker than they're going to be when we get done. So this is actually a bright, bright blue. Okay, do the same thing up here at the top. All these fun mermaidy colors. Okay, next we're going to come back in with that purple. It looks like we're going to have a bigger swatch of purple down at the bottom than we did the top, and that's fine. I can always come back with some more of the blue or the pink if I want to. Okay, I'm going to say that that looks pretty good. So next we're going to get our cutting machine ready to cut out our design. So this section is going to be just about how to set it up in the Scan and Cut. We're going to take a square, going to put that in there, and then we're going to resize it. And the size that we want is going to be 8 inches wide by 6.5 inches tall. So I'm putting in 8. Turning off maintain aspect ratio so I can change the other piece, and 6.5. So this is the size of our bag. Okay. So next we're going to bring in the SVG. Now there is an SVG button right here so you can import it from your computer. I'm going to click that. And then it's going to bring up my documents here. So you'll want to go to the folder where you saved your file. I'm going to click on Mermaid Squad because that's the one I want to use. I could use any of these. These are all so cute. Anyway, I'm going to use Mermaid Squad and click Open. And then we're going to want to, first off, this image is already set to maintain aspect ratio. Perfect. So now we're going to resize it down to what we want. That's going to look great. And now this is basically ready for me to send over to my Scan and Cut. Okay. So for that, we would just go into File, Export, Transfer FCM file. And then I would, because I have a Scan and Cut with Wi-Fi, I would use the transfer via the internet. If you have it connected with a cable, you would go by cable. If you don't have it connected to your computer at all, you would do it as an FCM file. That way you can put it on a little USB stick and take it over to the machine manually and put it into your machine that way. Okay, so I've got one of my mats here for my Scan and Cut, and I'm just going to place my paper right down, and then I'm going to grab a brayer over at the machine and make sure that that is very well stuck. Now this one, I haven't cleaned it in a bit, so it is still sticky. You can see that, but it's probably not sticky enough for me to be confident that it's not going to move. So I'm probably going to use some tape also just to hold it down once I get it in the machine and it's recognized all of the markings. If it doesn't recognize the markings, it's not going to go through. And then I'm going to go ahead and send everything over. I think I already did that. I'm going to send it over from my Canvas workspace over to the machine, and we're going to go ahead and cut this out. Okay, so now we have our there we go. Now we have our paper down on the machine, so it's ready to go in, and we're going to go ahead and bring over our data from the cloud from our other machine where we just did it. So I'm going to hit Retrieve Data, and then we're going to select the cloud. And this is going to import it all into our machine. Now, we can see the design here. Now, there are a couple of things you want to keep in mind. If you can't see it because the color from your paper where it was scanned in is too dark, you just need to hit this gear. So you'll want to hit that gear, and then we've got a couple little options here. They're both for the background. So if you have it on this one, it makes the color from your design that you scanned in super, super dark. Okay, so you may not be able to see it. So you want to do this one. Also, I had recorded a little bit and did not did not have the recording going. So the way that I got the background in is I used this button here, and it scans in the entire thing that is on your mat. I've already got that done, so I don't need to do it again. And now we need to move our design. So I'm going to go to Edit, select the whole thing, and I'm just going to move it right over into the center of my card. Now here's something that's cool. Because you can see the color behind it, I know that across the top of the word squad, it is going to be pink. And I know that I have got color covering everything, because I have done one of these before where I didn't have enough paint or ink down, and it didn't do exactly what I wanted. So this is what we're going to go with now. Now this is also going to cut out that rectangle that we drew, or not. No, it's not. We've got two separate objects. Do you see that? We've got one for the mermaid squad, and then we've got one for the rectangle. So I'm going to just delete the rectangle because I don't really need it. And now this is going to cut out all of those little bits. It's going to cut out everything for me. So I hit OK. We're going to set select, and we're going to select cut. And I always double check to make sure half cut is not turned on. You turn it on if you're wanting to cut stickers or something like that, where you don't want it to cut all the way through because you have your backing paper. We don't want to do that. I am going to go ahead and do a test cut as well, because it's been a little while since I used my scan and cut, and I don't remember what kind of paper I used it with last time. So I'm going to do a small test. So there you see up here at the top, it shows a little triangle. I'm going to move the triangle down to the bottom, just because it's going to be easier for me to take off without having to mess around with anything. And let's move it over to this side over here. And there's really no reason to pick up any of that ink, because I'm going to have enough extra here that I will have some sublimation paper to use on some other projects, as long as they're small ones. Okay, so now I'm going to hit OK. We're going to do a test cut. It's always a good idea to do a test cut, just to be on the safe side before you cut out all of your vinyl, all of your cardstock, whatever, and then find out that, oops, you made a mistake. Okay, that looks good. And it did cut through all the way, so that's perfect. Now I can just tell the machine to go ahead and start. We're going to go ahead and let it do its thing and start cutting. Okay guys, I'm going to leave this part in because, yeah, if you are a card maker and not used to using a cutting machine, you may not have caught what I did wrong. I forgot to mirror my original design before cutting it. So that means I need to make an entirely new panel. The other cut fine, but it would have made my mermaid squad words backwards. So you can kind of see through that. This is what it would have looked like on the machine with all the words backwards. So I did another panel. It looks like I might not have any green actually on my design because I had such a wide area of pink, but I went ahead and did another one. And this time we're going to go into, we're going to go ahead. Actually, I believe I might be able to mirror it on the machine. So I'm going to check that first. If it doesn't work, then we will be mirroring it in Canvas, my brother scan and cut canvas, and then sending it over. So just so you can see my mess up, here we have it with all of everything going the wrong direction. And let me pick out something here. I need to take the whole thing off anyway so I can put my new cardstock down. So it cut out great, and we've got that real nice gradient, and it does look like I didn't actually get any green on it that time either. But, so when we put this down onto our project, if I were to use this one, what it would do is it would make it print that way. It would be backwards. So I'm going to go ahead and put another piece of cardstock down, and it looks like there is a thing on the machine itself. to let you mirror. So I'm going to show you that in a second too. So first thing, I need to rescan in the paper so I know that the paper is in the correct spot. So we're going to go ahead and get that done. Okay, and so up here, we're going to be able to do the edit again. So for edit, I'm going to click edit. And then I'm going to go under object edit. And then there is this right here, up here, the second down right in the center there. That is going to mirror it. So now I'm not screwed up. I don't have to go back and move things around and re-import all the things. You can do it straight onto your machine. One other thing I'm going to do is I am also going to move some things a little bit. I want some green. Yeah, I want some green. So I am going to move this down a little bit. So we're going to have some green on the bottom of our mermaid tail and in that fun starfish. So that's what we're going to do. Now we're going to go ahead and hit OK, OK, OK. And now we're going to select cut again. So we're going to go ahead and do the cutting piece again. We don't need to retest it because we've already tested it with this kind of cardstock. So I'm going to go ahead and hit start and we're going to let it do its thing and start cutting. Okay, so now we have this. And I'm going to go ahead and start taking everything off. I've also kept a couple of pieces from our mess up because it's a starfish and it's bubbles and I can use that again, right? It's not a complete waste. Plus all the extra cardstock around the image, I'll be able to use that as well. There's actually a couple of different ways that we can do this. We can do and have the outline, kind of like what I've got on my mug here. I will show you guys a picture in a second. You can kind of see the little mermaids a little bit. I mean, the little dolphins. So we could do that. But what I'm going to do first off, on this first one anyway, I'm going to use the actual words, and I'm going to use this as my template to put everything down in place. So let's get this out of the way. And this is going to be a little bit fussy to get it all done. So this, I want to go make sure we've got it right side up. I'm going to go this way. And I do want to make sure I'm far enough away from the zipper so that's not going to be an issue, but we don't want to be too far down. So here, if we're too far down, it's going to be going off the edge, and we don't want that. So I'll put it right about here. And I'm just going to kind of tape it in place just for the moment. And what I would love is that if anybody has got a faster way of doing this, because when you're using vinyl, you can use the transfer tape and such to be able to put images like this down. I don't know that it's going to work with this because it's going to be a little bit too sticky. So we're going to go with it this way for now. So I'm just going to take off my words gently so I don't tear any of it. And then put it in place right there. Okay. And then underneath this mask or template, I'm going to tape it in place. So I can lift up the edge. It'll probably be easier once I get everything in place, but I want to show you guys, and I'm not going to have you sit through while I do all of this, okay? Because it's going to take a bit. And I just decided I want this to be down just a little bit more. This is also going to help me make everything get in the right position too. So I'm going to have it right about there. I'm going to tape that down. And now I can arrange everything else based on where the made part is of my design. So I got the words down. Now I'm going to put in some of the embellishments. And you don't have to put everything in exactly the same spot. It's fine. You can arrange it any which way you want to. But I'm going to try to stick pretty close to where everything is on the original design. So here's our little... our little starfish. So I'm just popping them in there, holding him in place while I lift off the stencil, because taping it down first did not work because I couldn't actually keep it in place. And I'm going to get a little piece of heat-resistant tape. And yes, you always want to use heat-resistant tape when you're doing something like this. Scotch tape will not work. It'll melt. It just, yeah, make sure you're using the heat-resistant tape. It's going to protect everything. Okay, now all I need to do is add in a bunch of the bubbles. And we had one little bit that I did not lose, but I haven't placed in yet. And that's the tittle for the eye. So that has to go in place. This little bitty guy right here. Just want to make sure I get him in about the right spot and going in the right orientation. So I'm going to put him right down right there and add a little piece of tape. And then we are ready to press. So now that our design is all ready to go, we are going to very carefully, so not to move anything around because it's just taped in place, right? We're going to be making our sublimation sandwich. So I'm going to cut off, actually doing 2 pieces this time because I'm being overcautious. And I have another little bubble here that's going to go back in my little bin there. Okay. So we're going to do 2 pieces. One for our top bun, one for our bottom bun. And I think I've probably been going through this a little bit quick in past videos because I have been getting questions again about how this part works. Now, the sublimation paper, this is Artesprix sublimation paper. This is protective paper. This is actually silicone paper. This is what the pros use. Now, you can use butcher paper. I have seen folks do that. So if you can't get this, that is going to be your best option. But this is all that I have ever used. I have always used the siliconized paper from Artesprix because I want to get as good a results as I can get as I'm learning and as I'm getting better at doing this, right? So the way that the sublimation sandwich works, we've got our sublimation paper. So we've got our protective paper as our bottom bun. Just think of it like a hamburger. Bottom bun, our blank is going to be the actual meat of the hamburger. Our design is going to be the cheese, which rests on top of that. And then we've got our second piece of siliconized paper that is going to be our top bun. Next, we're going to put the whole thing onto a protective mat. The protective mat is to help protect our desk, okay? So you don't have any issues there. Now, you could use a bigger heat press. I'm going to be using my Cricut Easy Press today. So this is basically where we're going to go, and then we're going to put our Easy Press on top of that. Okay, so I'm going to be gentle and try not to go where our zipper is, okay? So I'm going to go straight down. And then I'm going to press heavily, and I'm going to go ahead and hit the Cricut button. Now, the temperature for this is 385 for 45 seconds, heavy pressure. So I am putting my weight down on this. If you use a clamshell style press, you won't need to put as much pressure down because it's all going to be done inside the machine. You're going to just make sure you set the pressure correctly. So we're just going to wait for the 45 seconds. We've got 20 seconds to go. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and lift this up, put it back onto the base. It's going to keep it nice and it's going to protect everything there too. And now we're going to do a little sneak peek. And oh my God, look at the color. And this is hot. This is really hot. And I want to go ahead and get this stuff removed. Now, the reason it is so hot is these are little metal discs. You've seen sequins before, or yeah, you've seen this. This is basically little metal pieces. So we're going to go ahead and take off. Oh, this is gorgeous. Take off the words and our little, yeah, got our little starfish and our little drops there. Oh my goodness, this is just lovely. Oh, I'm really liking this. This turned out perfect. The only thing I was a little unsure about was the way that I used the pouncers. It had the little circles, but I figured the way that this design was, it wouldn't matter. It would be fine. Because you're really not going to see the way they overlap. And I am being careful not to damage any of my sequins. Oh my goodness. Look at that bag. Okay, and it's already cooling down. Look at that bag. That is just fabulous. And yes, it is changing. So we've got silver on one side, and then we've got a mermaid squad on the other. Lovely little summertime makeup bag. I love how this turned out. Oh my god. I really love the pink in there too. That was something I wasn't 100% sure on, but I thought, let's give it a shot. Anyway, y'all have a wonderful day. I really would love to see you guys make something like this, and please, please, please show me. So be sure to tag me at Debbie J's Crafting Corner and tag Artesprix at Artesprix, hashtag Artesprix, and hashtag Iron on Ink. Oh my goodness. Isn't that wonderful? Oh, love, love, love it. Okay, y'all have a great day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys!